2, and 1. All right, hello and welcome to the Benzo Rehab Dungeon, episode 74. It is the 7th of January, 2022. I'm your host, Michael Deebs. Joining me, as always, Danko Suvin from the Instagram handle @DankDeluz.
Inshallah.
Also joining us is John, the producer, from the Instagram handle @Discopathic. Send him your hands. John, how are you doing today?
I'm a little furious because that was only for the listener.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, between the listener's ears and your mouth only.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. The sacred trust was
the sacred trust is broken. Well,
yeah, broken. Yeah.
That's what you get for believing anything is sacred on this earth. Danko, how are you doing, sir?
Well, as we all know, the production of the sacred is inherently connected to sacrifice, right? Sacrifice is merely the production of sacred things, and so I'm offering myself up to be that sacrifice, so we can finally produce something sacred for John, so he can continue being a believer and optimist, as we know he is, and otherwise. I'm doing very good. How are you?
You know what? I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for asking.
Yeah.
Never been better in my entire life. If anybody I knew was having a bad day, they should actually be having a good day because that's how good I'm doing.
Yeah. Well, ideally that's always my demand, is that the world, in like a pathetic fallacy kind of thing, like always match my mood.
Right.
So if anyone ever sees it raining, no matter where you are, it's because I'm sad.
It's like the ancient myths of like when it rains, God is crying. When it rains, Danko's just being sad.
Yeah, it's really complicated though, because sometimes so I treat it geographically in a linguistic way, much like Russians do, where when I'm sad and it's raining, because it's always raining like a couple places until we totally ruin the biosphere and things get really confusing, and Absolutely. Then the rain becomes acid and like glass. But of course, because it's not always raining all places at once, just sometimes I'm like sad in Chinese, or I'm sad in Ukrainian. That's a language, right?
Yeah. I was thinking it was more like I don't think it is, but I was thinking it was more like you were sad about a place. Like, today I'm.
That's also true.
Today I'm thinking about Kuala Lumpur. You know, like.
It's actually whenever I think about a place, it's because I'm sad.
I like how John just typed into Google is Ukrainian.
Oh,
producer no. John strikes again.
You seem to be missing a couple of, I don't know, other words.
Yeah. Guys, of course it's
Little
a language.
Russian, now considered pejorative. That is pejorative. I can't believe they would call someone Russian. That's terrible. We're going to have Teddy back on sometime soon, by the way. I reached out to him.
He's still alive.
Yeah, he's still alive. He's still alive, and he still loves us very much, and we're all happy for it.
Let's definitely confront him with Little Russian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know any Little Russian?
That's terrible.
Actually, never mind.
Yeah, so let's get on with the podcast.
If you insist.
Are we still doing that
We are still doing that
tonight?
It is the new year, and this is a new us, and we're only gonna focus on things we can change
Uh-huh.
and stuff we love.
Yeah, we are not, in fact, back on our bullshit. We
Nope.
are a new year, new us.
We've stopped writing our suicide letters.
Yeah, because we finished.
Yeah. I sent you guys the draft. If you could go over it.
Everyone, remember to have your suicide note sent into HR by the end of the day.
Yeah. Or the pact.
Yeah. Make sure you have your bus change in your pocket and your little sneakers.
Hitching a ride on a comment later. See you guys in a bit. Yeah, so our first story today is something, again, we it's either something we can change or something we love, and
it's about Ukrainian.
No.
We can either stop it or sorry, I'm working off of the Discord screen because I keep fucking that up and I keep looking at the wrong one. So I'm just trying to help you out. And that's what I see on the screen. So that's the first story, right?
No, John, if you could go to the first link, please.
Sorry.
The I-95 backed up for basically an entire fucking day. The I-95 is a major thoroughfare on the eastern side of the country. There was a snowstorm, which people knew was coming. That's not really the point, though. The point is that if people know it's coming, the road crews also know it's coming, and thus they can prepare for it if they are, adequately supplied and staffed. It turns out that maybe they were not adequately supplied and or staffed. John, if you could big mode this video and play it.
Big mode.
Motorists were stuck in their vehicles, some for up to 20 hours. Then it's showing this tweet. I thought this was one where people talk, but I guess it's just one of those ones where they have dramatic stock footage or stock music over it. And then there's this tweet from Jim DeFade, which is good morning from I-95 in Virginia, where I've been trapped in my car for more than 20 hours. I'm not sure, but I think I now qualify for Virginia residency. Good to have a sense of humor while you're trapped and maybe going to freeze to death.
Do you guys remember when this happened in China, but it was like a week and a micro economy developed along the roadside?
Well, that seems to have happened here as well. It's not something we're really going to get into, but there were people, not necessarily an economy, but people were like going between cars and like passing things between each other so that, hey, I've got food. Hey, you've got water. Let's, I'll give you some food. You give me some water, sort of stuff.
Yeah, no, this was like fucking shops appeared.
Yeah. No,
and I love that story so much.
I've been listening to a lot of David Graeber's audiobooks lately, and I would only actually. David Graeber died?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it was recent, wasn't it?
Yeah, like 2 years ago.
Sucks.
Yeah. Well, occupy this grave.
Yeah,
I guess.
Occupy.
Why am I saying something mean about Graeber?
I don't know.
That's sad.
But anyways, I would actually expect that to happen in the case of a week where people are now settling that area. Of course they are. They need to have their needs met, and so markets are essentially going to develop whether or not they're like trading money or just trading things with each other so that they can survive.
I kind of hope some people didn't leave.
This is my home now.
Yeah,
I kind of like the road.
You see, when did this happen?
Go ahead and keep playing.
It was 10 days long, at least, for 60 miles.
Yeah, 60 miles. That's a city.
Yeah.
And this was, oh my God, this was so long ago now. Oh, no.
2019?
No.
2015?
2010.
Oh, no.
I was going to say this
Oh,
happened in
wow.
like 2017. I'm
Yeah.
going to fucking kill myself with old
Don't
age.
keep threatening to do that.
With old age because I'm so old.
One
Man,
of the last times I made a joke like that,
Mhm.
that's actually why we can't stream on Twitch anymore. I'm pretty sure. Because John and
Is that
I were
'cause you said
playing a
cracker
game,
word?
and I made what may be considered a light threat on my own person, and I guess Twitch picked that up somehow, and yeah.
I mean, Twitch is just
Oh, really?
hypersensitive.
What? One of the few times we like streamed together is what got what got us banned.
Yeah, it like specifically highlighted one of those videos and said that there was a threat of self-harm in the video. So
What
we
are
were
those
bad
stupid?
boys.
But not
What's
two R words in the wood.
What are the stupid like euphemisms that YouTubers use for that now? Like unlife myself or something.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
I'm not trying
Yeah.
to get monetized through YouTube. So I don't
Exactly.
really,
So,
you know.
Mike,
Yeah.
I'm going to kill myself.
All right. I'm
Anyway.
supposed to alert the authorities now, which I will not do.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you're not my dad / therapist.
I'm not gonna call the cops so that they can shoot you before you do
Yeah,
whatever
right.
you're gonna do to yourself.
Yeah, you know, the humane thing to do.
I mean, they're just there to help.
If I call the cops with the intent of them showing up to shoot you while you're trying to commit suicide, is that an assisted suicide?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Good.
Pranking your friends by speeding up their suicides.
I'm gonna swat you just because I know that you'll like probably pussy out before you really go through with it.
Oh man,
Yeah.
it's probably true.
Being a
Yeah,
good
that's
friend.
terrible.
Still here.
Yeah, you're welcome. Anyways, let's go on with the video before we incriminate ourselves further. If one of you kills themselves now, like I'm gonna get a knock at my door.
You might as well do it too. Like in
Yeah,
fact, if you see cops at your door, immediately go kill yourself.
Yeah, I mean,
this is the pact now.
Yeah, the one thing that keeps me podcasting and keeps me, you know, memeing and all that stuff, because I'm sick of it. I'm sick and tired of it. I never want to do it again. It's a miserable fucking grind and it's ruining my life. But the only reason I continue doing it is I know if I develop enough parasocial relationships with people and I finally go out the way I plan to, it will cascade.
Oh man.
And I'll be validated.
Ooh.
You know?
Ooh.
Why isn't anyone laughing?
Can we flash the suicide hotline number on the screen? I'm just kidding.
Like a VHS.
Can we continue this video though?
All right.
Oh,
fine.
yeah,
Let's
yeah.
talk about roads.
Yeah, back to snowstorms and roads.
Back
and
to
confidence.
traffic.
Josh Lederman, a reporter with NBC News, also tweeted that people were turning off their cars to conserve gas. I started
that
my
in the
normal
drive.
2-hour drive to DC at 1 p.m. yesterday. 19 hours later, I'm still not near the Capitol. That was Tim Kaine, I believe. Some motorcycles were taking exercise breaks along the interstate in the bitter cold weather.
I mean, there's one good thing about Tim Kaine, you know, in this situation, because you know his trunk is full of sweaters.
full of sweaters and liberal cringe.
If anyone remembers who Tim Kaine is, anyone?
I remember who Tim Kaine is.
Of course you do. We
And
remember.
we're actually
We have brain
going
damage.
to talk about a friend of Tim Kaine's
Oh,
later on in the
I
the
see where you're going
podcast.
with this. I see it. I got it.
Which you know what? Remind me when we get to him. I think we both know who I'm talking about. But we can maybe listen to a bit of Tim Kaine in the membrane.
Nice. Well done. That's very good, Mike.
Yeah. Go on, John, please. The snowstorm has caused havoc in several states. Some areas received more than a foot of snow. More than 280,000 people were without power in Virginia. At least 5 deaths have been reported. So snowstorms not new to the northeastern region, as far as I'm aware.
No, it has snowed there before.
And I know a foot of snow is a lot of snow.
It is a lot of
But-
snow. However, please go
Yeah,
on.
we I just find it like super weird that it's like humans have survived a foot of snow probably for thousands of years at this point.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to be getting better at surviving, right?
Well,
Like I thought that's what we were like trying to do, like with all the things that we have.
You know, the joke I
and
always tell in this circumstance.
People with degrees and jobs. Go ahead, sorry.
People who have talked to me, I think at this point probably genuinely understand that I do want to go off grid at some point.
What?
Not like live in the woods and like shit in a bucket and like writhe in my own filth sort of way, but like I think having energy independence is incredibly important. I think having your own water supply is incredibly important. And the joke I always tell is people are going to feel really silly for making fun of me for wanting to go off grid when there's no grid to support them anymore, which is exactly what we keep seeing happening. It happened in Texas. It's happened in the Northeast, Virginia area now. It happens all the time in California whenever we have strong winds, because we have a failing we have a failing electrical grid that can't withstand winds that have been here since we settled in this area. And mind you, like there's also a climate change component to it, of course, but a lot of it is just that these for-profit electrical companies don't want to do proper maintenance on their power grid. So I want to go off grid because I don't want to be. And you talk about people are supposed to be getting better at survival. Well, the problem is that people are dependent on a system that is no longer going to guarantee the services of that system anymore. So people have a lot of electric heat. You can't just burn a fucking pile of wood in the middle of your house to stay warm. You're gonna set your house on fire, and then you'll be in a worse position. So you just freeze silently in your house because you have no other shelter.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it's astounding how many old people just like freeze in their homes every year.
Yeah, it's terrible, and it's horrible.
Yeah.
But
and that like the insulation of your home only works properly if you have a functioning HVAC system.
Right.
Yeah.
But the thing about evolution and the thing about markets, which function, well, they're supposed to function, and I think do function evolutionarily, is two things. One, that they always end up, things spread into whatever niches are available. And so that's one reason that we don't have things like wood burning stoves or anything like that, even if we wanted them, is that the market eventually finds a way to make you buy some kind of like ridiculous system in order to keep your fucking home in order. And it forces you on the grid and things like that. But also that evolution and markets are C- students.
Yeah.
Where they're only ever just good enough to do their job. And so it's never about like optimizing human life or performance. It's just enough to like keep itself going. And so, this is expected. We're supposed to die in the snow.
Oh yeah. Well, and it's what is it? I have like it's something that I end up comparing to the military, but they do it in other government jobs too. A lot of these people get their awards and accolades for learning about the like all the checks in the boxes. They look at that order, they memorize that order, they get good at that order, and then they just rearrange that order, and then like a big like cocksucking party like happens over it. And in the military, they gave them medals. Fucking in the civilian world, they get those like glass trophies.
Yeah, you get a little watch, little knockoff Rolex.
Yeah, they get a watch, and it's something that they can add on to like a ballot.
Which is funny because I knew, obviously I was in the military and then I worked in local government. I knew people who were like that in local government, and they would get these trophies, of course. And this one person I knew, who was exactly what you're talking about, which is a ticket puncher. That's just like, yeah, I just got to do these kind of things, and then I'll work my way to
I
the next
reinvented
position.
the ticket.
Yeah, I reinvented the ticket, and now I get that ticket punch as well. But she had been given a chrome plated shovel, quite expensive, like actually like woodworked handle and like engraved and stuff like that, with like a nice chrome plated plaque on it. And when we went to clean out her office, it was just sitting in the corner. She didn't care about
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's like, no, I already did what I needed. What I really wanted was the promotion that I got out of that, not the fucking shovel, of course.
Yeah, exactly. It's like those types of things are so incredible to me, because we could be honest, no one keeps fucking like the greeting cards they're given, like even from someone you love dearly. If they give you a card, you only have that because you're a slob, Michael. You're waiting to throw that away.
Yeah,
despicable. Living in your own meowy Christmas filth. But no, after a couple weeks, it gets thrown away.
Isn't that adorable?
It's pretty cute. But after a couple weeks, it gets thrown away. So why do we overcomplicate them to be like, oh, this is a 5-pound card that's covered in chrome functionally?
Yeah, no, for sure. No, I get
too much.
It's just funny though.
How dare you?
Something I would like to address in the comments real quick.
Oh no, these people.
These people. Robert Kelly says this looks like Edmonton every October. Everyone forgets how to drive and crashes into my fucking Toyota.
Just everyone into one Toyota.
Yeah. Juno Muro, at least it's a good thing Virginia doesn't exist. Robert Kelly
Good
says,
point.
Get winter tires. Yes, agreed. One nuke goes off intentionally high up in the atmosphere, and the resulting EMP wave will wipe out all the electronics on the continent. China has hypersonic missiles now, faster than the U.S. So the thing that I would like to address is, yeah, sure, China has hypersonic missiles now, but they would gain absolutely nothing from attacking the U.S. So I'm not really concerned about that so much as I'm concerned about the ineptitude of our own country killing people, because that seems to happen way more often than China killing our people.
You want to starve your tenants to death, not axe murder them.
Yeah, so worst case scenario, China just becomes like more economically like I don't know, draconic towards us, but they're not going to nuke us or anything like that. It's all just, Cold War dumb bullshit politics where they're like, hey, look at this fast missile, and that makes people scared, so there's a reaction to that, but it's never going to actually formulate anything, because our markets are completely tied into each other, where they would be committing some kind of economic suicide by bombing us in this way.
The real question, though, is would it or would it not be kind of funny if that happened?
Oh yeah, no, it would still be kind of funny, I guess.
Yeah.
It'd be great, because it would just kind of force my hand into going off the grid.
Yeah, and that's how I define funny.
Yeah,
if it makes me homeless.
No, I mean like living in a roadside market. That's what I mean. And not because I'm inherently I think that the Chinese government is worse than the one that we have, but just because I refuse to learn Chinese because it's hard.
Yeah. If I have to learn another language, yeah, that's the whole thing. Is that if I have to learn Russian or Chinese or something, I'm gonna walk into that air fryer I have a really big air fryer, guys.
You have a walk-in air fryer.
I do.
This whole time, and you never let me in on it.
Yeah, I mean that's how much of an Instagram guy I am. Is I air fry all my food, and it's
you air fry your bread that's the size of 3 people.
yeah, it's actually a 32 by 32 air fryer. So
That's great.
it's big, I guess.
32 by 32 foot air fryer. What
Yeah.
are you? Like some kind of Nazi?
That's bigger than the room I'm in right now, and this room is supposed to be able to house somebody.
Wait, Mike, hold on. I don't want to like.
Oh, Robert Kelly. Robert Kelly says, "Look, you're talking about how easy the grid can collapse. All I'm saying is just one nuke." No, I understand that. I just didn't want people to think that like China is actually going to attack us. I get the point though. That I mean, the whole thing could easily go down.
Well, I mean that was good timing because you just stepped all over my fucking joke, and now I can't say it. But you know, it's if you want to try it, if you want to do it like this, if you want to do it like this,
comedy is all about timing.
What? What I wanted to do is, you know, I don't want to poor shame you or anything, but I do want to point out that it's kind of sad that you don't have 32-foot high ceilings. You know?
Yeah. Well, they didn't build them like that back in the 1980s, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Good luck changing your light bulbs.
It's my favorite thing about houses from the 1920s. Sorry, the 1420s is that they all have 40-foot high ceilings.
Yes. As God intended.
Yeah.
We can move on.
Yeah.
See, it wasn't funny. It's because it's your fault for paying attention to the listener. It wasn't funny
because of you, not me.
Not because of me. Not because I have a bad brain.
Could you go to the headline real quick?
Yes.
I'm
Ralph
really
Northam.
Into this Funko Pop nuke idea, though. Sorry.
Ralph Northam, the current Virginia governor, outgoing Virginia governor, because a Republican was elected to replace him. You may remember the Youngkin versus, I forget the Democrat's name. He lost.
Yeah,
we don't remember him anymore.
Yeah. He's dead.
So Ralph Northam, this is basically his last day in office when this happens. And he decides to go out as all Democrats do, which is by alienating any kind of base he might have. And he blames the Virginia drivers for getting stranded on the I-95. People need to pay attention. Notably directly under that headline is Senator Tim Kaine, Democrat Virginia, was among the drivers who were stranded for hours on I-95.
Well, foresight is not something Tim Kaine has.
Well, the thing that I would like to point out here is that you can tell people, hey, snowy conditions on the road, it's going to be dangerous to probably stay inside and sit this one out. But people still have to go to jobs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm just saying, I agree with them because they should have seen that news flash where they said, hey, there's going to be a 3-day traffic jam starting today. So, you know, maybe don't be one of the people that are necessarily in that for it to like exist.
Snow, which is a thing that happens all the time. And mind you, I don't think we had a story like this last year or the year before it or the year before that. So snow, a thing that happens all the time in this region, has been handled adequately, consistently for some time. And now it's not being handled adequately this time.
Yeah. I mean, every time there's some kind of fucking like, I don't know, 2-year-long global pandemic, people forget how to drive.
Yeah, that's what it is.
You know, you know, every time.
Yeah. So really cool of him to blame the drivers and not, I don't know, maybe the economic circumstances that lead to them having to drive on this day because they have a job that they need to go to. one of them being an actual sitting member of the Senate.
Who is the one person I think we're allowed to blame in some small way here? All of the people headed to DC for government jobs, it is their fault. They should have paid attention.
Well, without a doubt, because the infrastructure bill has failed.
Mm-hmm.
The bipartisan quote marks here infrastructure bill is essentially just made to privatize anything that they can.
Well, shouldn't it tried to give tax credits to families with kids?
Yeah, we'll talk about Mansion later. If you would like to go to the next link, John, we don't have to spend a lot of time at Ralph Northam. This is just a fun little clip about people who were stranded on it. If you could scroll down, I think, or no, that's the video up top. Sorry, it's like shit. Make it big and start playing it.
Oh, it looks shit big. Big shit.
Well. Stranded on Interstate 95 in freezing temperatures when a truck jackknifed on the highway during the winter storm Monday morning. The backup lasted upwards of 24 hours, with many drivers and passengers having to go without food or water. WDBJ 7's
water. What accent is that?
Water.
It's
Midwest. Something stupid.
Yeah.
I've heard it before. Well, no, I heard "worder" a lot in New England.
Guy, it looks like you don't got any water.
Yeah, I think this is a weird thing that like it traces all the way from New England into the Midwest, and then it like trickles out.
It's those weirdo fucking Dutch.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, Dutch Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
she's probably an
Swedish.
escaped Amish woman.
Kate Capodanno.
I mean, do you see any zippers?
Rumspringer non-returnee.
Rachel Schneider's talked to those folks as some of them still make their way to their final destinations.
It was traumatizing, to say the least.
I kept saying, this is unbelievable, just unbelievable to happen like this.
Between Richmond and Washington, D.C., I-95 was stuck at a standstill in both directions, caught in the 40-mile stretch where Taylor Mooney and Bailey Ferguson headed to the Steelers game in Pittsburgh from North Carolina, a game they would never see.
From 8 o'clock until right before 5 a.m., we were in park. We saw no emergency response vehicles, no police, no highway patrol, no fire department, no ambulance. There was a couple of snowplows that came through, but they only cleared off the shoulders. There was a guy who had gotten out of his car that had a case of water that was just trekking up. An older man was walking on this ice, sliding everywhere, knocking on windows, making.
I'm sorry, this is such a minor thing, and no one else is gonna, whatever. But no, I don't think at this point in time, because the way the signification works and everything, I don't think that anyone apart from Anthony Fantano is allowed to wear that flannel.
That's true.
He's the only person allowed to wear that yellow flannel.
I was going to try to not comment on the fact that
it's offensive.
Steelers fans and also therefore, deserve to be stuck on the road. and not because I like a rival team to the Steelers, just because if you call yourself a Steelers fan, I don't know, something wrong with you.
I don't know shit about sport.
Yeah,
and it's cool if you do. Like, they're fun and stuff, but somehow I think it's like genetic memory or something.
Yeah,
I just know that being a Steelers fan is a bad thing. Like the Steelers, really? The Broncos. Whew. You know what I'm saying?
The horses.
I don't even know why. I know we're supposed to feel that way about Patriots fans.
Yeah, I mean that's also because they like blatantly and like.
Well, yeah, like that's what I'm saying, is that they like cheat and whatever, and they win everything because they're poopy heads, and so we don't like them. But I know why I don't like them. But why do I hate the Steelers?
That I don't know. I think I remember rooting for the Steelers in a football game that I watched with my dad to like hopefully make him mad.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it's just like teen angst is why I like rooted for the Steelers more.
Yeah, I'm a Giants Packers fan. I've decided. I actually used to like the Giants. I did watch football for a while, way back.
I grew up in Washington, and I was told that I should be a.
Do you guys have a team?
Yeah, we have the Seattle Seahawks. Come on, man.
Oh yeah.
And I was told that I should be a fan of the Seahawks, but I could never be bothered to care.
Is a Seahawk a real bird?
It is a real bird. It's
not just an osprey or something.
No, it's not an osprey. It's not just a seagull that they stylized in a totemic fashion.
That's cool, man. That's really cool. You know,
May Harrison in the chat. May Harrison in the chat must be an Anthony Fantano fan as well, because she says, or they say, soft 7 on her flannel.
Nice.
Madison, we don't know what we're saying. We don't know sports, but we
know. No, I know sports.
We know things about sports, sort of. Continue the video, John, please.
Making sure people had water at least. 2 or 3 hours in, I decided that I would leave the car turned on for like 20 minutes or so, turn it off for about an hour until it got so cold that I needed the heat again, just because at that point we had zero clue how long I was going to be there. I was like, I would rather freeze than potentially run out of gas and literally not know when we are going to get to move.
The two called dozens of hotels before.
Isn't that's so backwards though?
Yeah, I don't know
if you survive the snowstorm and people can get help, you live.
Look,
but your
man,
car is stranded.
They didn't pick like the best representatives of the stranded on the I-95 crew.
I just got to say, Bailey has the most adequate teeth in the game.
Another Fantano joke. Let's keep going.
I'm bald.
For realizing they'd have to drive an hour back towards Richmond, securing a room at 9 a.m., putting them in the car for 26 hours total.
I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. It was so disheartening to see that they were still letting people on the interstate and it was still at a dead stop
right
traffic
there.
for.
That's what I wanted this video for. They knew that there was a traffic jam for dozens of miles, and they didn't close down the on-ramps to stop people from getting onto this fucking interstate.
They were
rules. Like, yeah, do you want to join the fucking party that's going to be here for 20 hours and you don't know it yet? Go right on ahead, bud.
So if you've ever driven southbound or probably northbound through LA in the middle of the night because you want to avoid traffic, you know that every single time you do that, they shut down some part of the freeway so they can, I don't know, clean up a body or like, sweep it or something. Every single time there's a chunk. And it's frustrating, but at least you know that they're able and willing to shut down some part. And it happens every fucking night. Every single night this happens. And the fact that this is happening, there's an apocalypse happening for over a day, and they're still just like shoveling people into it is so good. God bless you people in the East.
So I also live in I live in a red state, and our freeways routinely shut down at night, and it's oftentimes like secret and random, like what's getting shut down because they're tearing down something that they just built, that they spent 3 years, which is just a single fucking brick in the fucking like freeway expansion that's been going on for like two fucking decades.
Can you really quickly...
nobody was paying attention to what anybody was fucking building.
It's shame is what it is.
John, can you open up a Google image search and just find us an image of, I don't know, Mike, which city in Texas has the most nightmarish cluster of freeway on ramps?
It's got to be San Antonio.
Because okay. San Antonio freeways. Just for anyone that hasn't seen this, because I saw it in person for the first time during a road trip with Mike last year. Year before?
No,
I don't know how time works.
It was late 2020.
And Not even verses. Like I want to see all the spiraling on ramps and shit.
Yeah, just look up San Antonio freeways.
Yeah, they don't. I think that like most of Texas doesn't have these. This is like a kind of a California thing.
Antonio, yeah, freeway ramps. Man, we're not Googling good.
I mean, no. That middle right,
flyover.
that middle right bottom picture, I think actually does a good job. Nope.
Yeah, no,
that
actually,
was not
that's
middle,
pretty good.
nor right, nor bottom.
Yeah, but there, to the left of that.
Oh, John is just striking out. Yeah,
right to the left of that. Ah, goddamn you. Yeah,
go back up to the top, John.
Oh, I didn't realize.
Right there. You were just hovering over it. Down there.
Yeah, right there.
Click that bitch.
That's San Antonio's freeway system.
Oh yeah,
unbelievable. The anxiety of like having your car shit out somewhere on that thing.
Oh yeah, I mean it's like you'll get like maybe like 100 feet or so to merge in some places. Like after merging onto something, you'll immediately have to like go all the way across the freeway to merge onto a different thing, and it's just stacks of fucking roads on top of each other that don't make, like, if you're looking at it from a bird's eye view, maybe you can make heads or tails of it, but when you're like driving down that freeway, especially with a trailer maybe behind your car, the more you look at it, the worse it gets. It's like a tangled ball of fucking yarn.
Yeah, so
and imagine driving through that as like as somebody who can't even see this grander view of it all.
They have flyovers that merge together.
Yes, it is fucking darkness. Just sadness and darkness.
What the fuck?
I'm telling you, I have driven in a lot of states. San Antonio is the worst fucking area I've ever driven in.
I second that. Absolutely. It's insane.
Luckily for me, every time I've driven to San Antonio, like I guess like because I'm like just going to like downtown San Antonio.
Oh sure,
yeah. I just like straight shot it into San Antonio, and I fucking like arrived.
You see the 10 on either side there. The Interstate 10 logo on either side there. Can you tell me how those two things connect with each other?
Wait.
And that's the problem is I believe Interstate 10 is the one that goes east to west, and so every time I've driven through there, I've gone east to west, and I've tried to have to navigate this fucking thing, and I swear
it's
to God,
going all directions.
I've gone through there 4 times now, and I've never driven through there the same fucking way.
San Antonio is a Piranesi drawing.
Yes.
Like it is an imaginary prison.
It sucks.
Yeah. Anyway,
we're spending too much time on this. We got lots of other things to talk about.
Oh man, I just want to talk about things that you drive a car on.
Oh wait. Yeah. There we are.
We got to go back to Bailey and Kaylee. I don't know what.
Bailey and Kaylee.
Miles as far as you could see, and what they, in my opinion, should have done was open up some of those emergency access medians for reserved for situations.
We've already made the point that Bailey and Kaylee aren't like the best representatives of anything. However, they already have a better plan than the fucking Virginia state like public works department apparently had, which is like, open up some of these fucking side roads, get people off of this road that's not working anymore, get them to safety and like help them. I think that didn't happen.
Can I also
secretary and deputy secretary of transportation in Virginia
hire more blonde women Steelers fans?
I'm going to be the irritating guy and point this out. How much smaller would this traffic jam be if there were less private automobiles and more public transit?
Oh, of course. Yeah. Just put a fucking train in there. Whatever.
What if bus train?
What if a bus? What if a train?
What if double-decker British comedy bus?
Also, you know, another huge reason that these commutes happen in the first place is
because
that
people can't afford to live where they work.
exactly
Or
the
work where they live.
economic centers have been priced out of the work, or the workers have been priced out of the economic centers in which they need to actually work in, so they have to live an hour away. Or more in some cases, and they have to commute in. And so if maybe we made the areas they work in affordable for them, they wouldn't have to commute that far. They would just, you know, maybe walk down to the curb, get a bus, and go like a mile in one direction, get off the bus, and be at their job site.
I remember when this first really struck me, and I was in Manhattan many years ago, and I went into like a little corner shop. I'm like, oh, bro, none of you live here.
Yeah, of course they don't.
This is incredible.
Yeah.
Where the fuck do you have to live that you can live in New York and work at a 7-Eleven? Like, how is it possible?
Well,
it's because he travels like 3 hours every day with subways.
Yeah, or they live in like an actual closet that's somehow allowed to be rented out as a room.
A tenement inside of a tenement inside of a tenement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Continue, please.
Situations such as this, just plow those empty and let people get off.
At least turn around.
Always let
Gloria
people get
Settle
off.
and her husband were on their way to vacation in Florida with friends when they got stuck.
We saw tons of elderly people in their cars, and I just felt for them. Children, animals, horses and trailers. This should have never, ever happened. Never, ever happened.
Rachel Schneider, WDBJ 7.
She's correct. Go ahead and oh yeah. The next link isn't any better. Again, we're back on our bullshit.
Yeah, I feel like nothing's gonna get better.
If you thought we were gonna change for 2022, gravely mistaken. I'm so sorry you believed us.
God, is it 2022?
It is 2022.
Oh my
now.
God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You know, as they say, hindsight is 2022.
Nice.
Oh man.
Good work.
Yeah. Definitely going back on my New Year's promise not to kill myself after that joke.
Theme of the day.
Yeah.
That's gonna be what you have to label the episode as.
Yeah.
The team kills themselves.
Suicide.
Triggers. Suicide pact. Comet rocket ride 2022.
So, real quick before we start this clip, what's the worst thing that's happened in recent memory? No, don't look at that. Don't look at the caption, John.
I can't read, so I can't see it.
Make the clip big, just don't play it. You fucking asshole. Jeez.
The tenant wasn't very well
really
liked.
Hurts when somebody tells your secret.
I haven't seen that movie, so I don't know if it was good or not, but yeah, that was pretty bad. Recent memory. A couple of years ago.
Oh, okay. Well, I would go with
Matrix 4 was.
Yeah.
What other bad things happened?
Don't get me started on
media.
Matrix 4.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I would say maybe COVID is probably like actually the worst thing that's happened in recent memory.
I mean, you get used to over 700,000 deaths really quickly.
Yeah, man.
True.
I mean, once we hit the million number, maybe we'll talk. But like, I don't know. That's like, I don't know, 700,000. That's like a third of a 9/11.
What if there was an event that had 5 people die in it?
Yeah, Benghazi.
Two of which were not even. Or sorry, I think it's 7 people. 2 of which were not even actually killed during the event, but like, I don't know, got sad brains afterwards and killed themselves and suicide again.
Some of which weren't people.
Yeah, and some of which weren't people. I'm glad you're saying that now because I'm going to say that later.
Thank you, sir. We're on a team. We planned all of this, guys. This is all scripted. We put a lot of work into this.
Any of this except for maybe 10 minutes before we start recording.
Yeah,
I have the links ready. Like
breaking the illusion.
Yeah, then we get too drunk to like remember what the plan was.
Yeah.
Trust
I memorize all my lines ahead of time.
We're actually the original Q because we
Yeah.
just trust the plan no matter what it is.
It's true. It's true.
John, could you please play Kamala Harris telling us one of the worst tragedies that's ever happened in recent memory?
Oh no! Is
Certain
this going to
dates.
be
Certain
No, go.
dates.
go?
Echo throughout history, including dates that instantly remind all who have lived through them where they were and what they were doing when our democracy came under assault.
God.
Dates that occupy not only a place on our calendars, but a place in our collective memory. December 7th, 1941. September 11th, 2001.
Pause, please.
Oh my God.
Don't do it.
December 7th, 1941. That's when Pearl Harbor was attacked and got us into World War II in the Pacific Theater. Pretty big moment. I don't know what the death count is for World War II, but pretty high.
Isn't it,
Yeah, when the
like 24 million?
Well, I mean, American deaths. The only deaths that
Wait,
matter.
I'm
just kidding.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
sorry.
Huge
Yeah.
amount of deaths.
Like
One of the most
200,000 or
catastrophic
something?
things that's
No.
ever happened on planet Earth is
a
World War II.
day that will forever live in infamy when the Japanese woke up a sleeping big boy.
I would
That was funny
like
in my
to
head.
remind you that when you say Japanese, you're actually, starting that off with a racial slur.
You cannot steal my joke,
I stole your joke, bitch.
especially when no one laughed at it when I said it.
Yeah, but now it's funny because I
People
stole
are-
it from you.
People should, and you are entirely right because I'm right. No one should ever say that word, Japanese.
Yeah.
It's
Starts with
disgusting.
the racial slur. That's
Yeah,
horrible.
it does.
And then the other thing she references obviously is 9/11. We all know as the event that got us into the war on terror in the Middle East, in which probably upwards of 1 million people have died from displacement, being bombed because they were displaced, and the new area that they're living in is now like a target.
Being bored to death by 2 decades of news footage.
Right, yeah. So
The real crime.
can we imagine what the next thing that she's going to try to relate to these
We already know what it is.
we already know it.
Everyone knows what it
the clip.
is.
Play the clip.
And January 6th,
Oh!
2021. Certain dates echo throughout history,
Pause it.
including
I'm sorry.
dates.
Yeah, it's just looping now. We don't have to see any more of this.
Can anyone
Oh, thank
here
God.
genuine question? Because I remember where I was on 9/11. I remember where I was on Pearl Harbor. I remember where I was during all these events. I remember where I was when I first got dumped. I don't remember where the fuck I was on January 6th. Do you?
I'm going to my calendar right now.
Yeah.
I think I was on my computer because it's the quarantine times. So I figure we all were.
January 2021 was a Wednesday.
Okay.
I don't remember which house I was living in.
I believe I was at work.
Yeah, I was at work, and I think I was like tuning in on like live footage and kind of like chuckling.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I was definitely having a laugh over it.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
shitposting about it as it happened, but that's
Yeah.
all I remember about the
I made
day.
this amazing pun,
Uh-huh.
which was,
Say it.
"Oh, America, looks like the coup is on the other foot." Pretty good, pretty good.
Nice, man.
I didn't believe an actual coup was happening. I just thought it was a funny pun.
Yeah. Does anyone who's listening remember where they were?
Yeah, go ahead and feel free to put it in the comments. Let's
Please
go
do.
ahead and minimize this and go to the next link-a-rooney here.
I'm also stupid, and I don't know if that message was actually retracted or not.
Oh,
Or if
Jesus.
that's
No, the message was actually retracted.
oh hell yeah! What does it say? I wanna
May
know.
Harrison was apparently saying something they weren't comfortable with having. out
Something
there.
bad.
Oh,
Yeah.
May.
coward.
Ooh, you're a bad girl.
Or they them. We don't
They
know.
them.
Why would you?
guy.
Why would you?
I think I
gender
know.
somebody?
I think I actually know. No, I do know. I do know who May Harrison. I believe I know who Mayor Harrison is. I only know usernames of people, but
Anyway,
is Nancy Pelosi wearing a Starship or a Star Trek captain's uniform?
yeah.
Yes.
Aren't the red ones the ones that die, or is that the blue ones?
Well,
God, we hope.
Unless they're the richest.
Yeah.
The most powerful reds never die.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
So this thumbnail is actually
I'm
misleading.
not a fucking nerd.
The thumbnail is actually misleading because it's going to go to a different clip.
Oh.
But you know,
Boo.
Nancy Pelosi did this whole tour. On
man, I
January
love
6th.
the Nancy Pelosi tour.
Yeah.
With Joe Rogan and
multiple speeches on January 6th as like the most important thing that Robert Kelly doesn't remember where he was. HC says, I was chilling as I often do.
Yeah, I don't know why that made me laugh. and then Robert Kelly doesn't remember.
Madison G was at her parents' place because I was on break. I wasn't concerned because Trump supporters are too dumb to do a successful coup.
That's kind of true. Then they're fighting each other.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the funny thing about the whole thing is that
it was more boots stepping on boots.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that
objectively funny.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and play this clip.
Robert Kelly
those who work with
talked shit on
were
Canadians.
targeted in a violent insurrection that sought to undermine democracy. As we acknowledge the horror of that day, we honor the heroism of.
I'm convinced that all these old politicians, when they clear their throat constantly, are just readjusting their dentures. Because they always sound because it's not that they sound less husky afterwards, it's that they start pronouncing their words better.
No, that's absolutely what Nancy Pelosi is doing. Can I make an amendment to this link? On the right, there's a picture of Nancy Pelosi with some candles behind her. Yeah. That's the one I actually wanted to play here.
Amazon employees.
But I guess the link changed.
At least $15 and
oh man, and then John clicks on the ad.
Yeah,
why is John always clicking things?
Like a virgin. Well, I sat through all the ads so that the viewer and listener wouldn't have to, and then you fuck up the videos.
It's a stereotype about virgins.
The link changed.
They always click on the ads.
The link changed. Please.
Yeah,
we have to get through this ad now.
I like to see the chain of custody behind these links.
There's a play button at the top right.
The top right. Jesus, who?
Little arrow guy.
It's to distract you. We're gonna have to listen to this Amazon ad. Let's talk over it. Let's just play it and we'll post on top of it.
Hit it, pal.
Yeah.
Hit the button.
So
$15 an
they
hour,
put
but $15
Amazon
button in the upper right hand corner as a
infection.
form of psychological
we'll keep
warfare.
doing a better job for our employees.
We're actually committing
why.
psychological warfare on our listener right now.
Yeah.
God.
On behalf of distinguished.
All right, this is the clip I wanted to play. By the way, you have Debbie Wasserman Schultz in the background there, looking like a straight goblin. Great.
Yeah. Well, good thing she hasn't taken off her mask.
Yeah.
Yeah. She looks like an actual D&D ghoul.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's a ghoul? Sorry, I'm not going to steal a
Debbie
comment
Wasserman
etiquette thing.
Yeah.
Please play.
Please play.
Democratic leader of the Senate, all of our colleagues from the House and Senate, we prayerfully walk 1 year since the insurrection and patriotically honor the heroes who defended the Capitol and our
Bitch, your mouth is falling out.
So glue does not work so great in the cold, by the way.
Yeah,
also your mouth is full of saliva, which is a solvent. So
that's what they call it. They call saliva the universal solvent.
Yeah. I'll solve it if you know what I mean.
I don't even know what my joke meant.
Me
it's
neither.
Just a funny sounding thing.
Oh wait, weren't we supposed to not talk shit about old people for being old?
Oh yeah, we're back in our bullshit. Remember?
When did we say that?
Yeah, we're back on our bullshit.
No, wait. Yeah. What are you referencing?
Yeah.
The New Year's podcast. We said we weren't going to make fun of geriatric people who are like clearly suffering from some kind of like I don't know, sundowning syndrome.
Oh, that's a dumb rule.
Yeah.
No,
I don't know
absolutely not.
We must have been on some like good cheer and fellowship with mankind shit.
It sounds like
that's over
something
now.
I would say.
Yeah,
as a joke.
You did say it, yeah.
Way too drunk.
Yeah. I mean, we did start early on, Anyway.
Yeah. Continue this thing.
This thing.
Let us all here join in a moment of silence.
Let us all here.
In memory of those who lost their lives and sacrificed so much for our democracy that day.
Democracy.
Important.
Yeah, Nash those.
One person literally lost their life that was defending the situation. 5 people who were assaulting died. Some of them just because they're like fucking old weirdos that have like heart conditions. But literally like the only person.
Well, the only
in the eyes of Nancy Pelosi. In the eyes of Nancy Pelosi, the only person that died that day was one cop. That was defending the Capitol. The other 2 cops that died committed suicide later on.
Nice.
So when she's saying, let's have a moment of silence for all the people who gave their lives that day for democracy, she's literally talking about one fucking person, literally. And like the other 2 are dubious at best. And then the remaining 4 of like the 7 that died that day were all people who were trying to attack the Capitol. So I don't know what she means by lives lost. We're in the middle of a pandemic where 700,000 fucking people have died. And she chooses to remember essentially what boils down to one cop that one day.
Hell
With a
yeah.
moment of silence.
Like I don't like to, make people like justify their suicides after the fact.
Well, they were cops, so they're not people.
Yeah,
Oh,
usually
right.
when someone I know kills themselves, I don't ask them to explain it to me afterwards. Well, actually, I do, but it's like a screaming at the sky thing. It's like a Bobby!
Listener, viewer, please don't kill yourselves.
Yeah, or else I'll have to scream at the sky. It'll be really embarrassing for everyone involved.
But like, what about the Capitol riots? Like, made them want to like kill themselves? The fact that they didn't like shoot enough people or something.
I can tell you exactly what it is.
They had to face down their buddies.
Stop stepping on my jokes.
Sorry. No, you did this to me last week. I'm doing it to you now.
No. It's what would you do if you on live television got owned by all like 2,000 of your best friends? Like I can't sit in a room with 2 of my exes.
2,000 of my ex-best friends.
They stepped on my neck like I was a black.
Dude, ex-best friend is such a funny concept.
What's up?
Ex-best friend is such a funny concept.
Yeah.
And we have them. But
course
just
we
like
have
breaking up with your friends is so fucking funny.
Bro,
it's
you
just so dumb.
cool, but now you're cringe.
We used to be amiable with one another, and now we're kind of not, and that's a big deal. Anyway,
let's continue to play this.
More silence.
Yep.
We should just talk.
It'll get weird in a second. Moments. Don't worry.
Her teeth straight up fall out of her face.
Yeah. Well, she's like breathing into the microphone and like fidgeting around with shit. And...
Yep.
No, like, this is so awkward.
Here's the cue. Here's the cue.
Yeah. Oh my god.
God bless America.
Oh my god, I thought someone was doing that as a joke.
No. Isn't that just horrible vocals like the start? God bless America.
I mean, it's cold out, I guess,
And so for the listener, somebody just handed Nancy Pelosi what appears
a manila
to be...
envelope full of cash.
No, it's full of denture glue.
Oh, was it like a tube or something? I didn't see it.
Yeah, no, it is.
That's so good.
It's been disguised as a lit candle, but
John's pulling the old switcheroo on us. That's not real.
Well played, sir. Well played. He sees beyond the reptilian menace.
So
And their candles.
they go into a pained rendition of "God Bless America," which
They all are.
It's
what
not-
does
not
that
a- not
do
a
in
great
this
song.
time? You know, how does that like refute the insurrectionists? Putting this in quotation marks.
No,
'cause-
because they sing this song all the time. They love this song.
It just gives her a convenient time to like walk off stage.
yeah,
Yeah.
pure symbolic, like weird, does nothing aesthetic sort of. Yes, we love America. Sort of
Oh
stuff.
man. So I can't wait for fucking like shit libs to talk about how emotional Nancy Pelosi was. Like she has emotions.
Oh yeah.
That
Oh,
she
man.
like, she couldn't even introduce the singer, as opposed to these like
Yeah.
fearful eyes that people are going to realize that she has fake teeth.
She was so caught up in the moment she couldn't even introduce the singer because her emotions about what happened on January 6th overtook her.
She looked terrified, but she's terrified of being mean.
You guys remember when she tore up the speech?
Yeah.
Wasn't that cool?
Yeah, it was
she standing behind him, and
I was gonna make this point later,
tore
but
up the
this has
speech.
got to be like one of the best performance artists of the century.
Yeah, she's real good, man.
We'll see later why I want to say that, but please go ahead and go to the next link. These are the 5 people who died in the Capitol riot. Most of them anti-Capitol. So when she, like I was saying earlier, when she talks about the people who lost their lives that day, most of them were trying to essentially kind of kill her in some way.
How can you be anti-Capitol if you own a Ski-Doo dealership?
That's fair. Yeah, I meant anti-Capitol with
Thank you.
with an
I know.
OL.
I did a
Go ahead and
pun.
Scroll down.
I'm a punny guy.
I like this update. New information has emerged regarding the death of Capitol Police Officer Brian Sickwick that questions the initial cause of his death provided by officials close to the Capitol Police. Turns out he may not have killed himself over the Capitol riot. Go down there. There will be a list of people that we'll see. We don't have to focus on the including one who sold kangaroos dressed like the president.
Wait, but are they actual kangaroos?
No,
I hope so.
They were stuffed kangaroos.
Well, that's misleading. I ordered
Fake news.
A $4 kangaroo.
Yeah,
and all I got was this stuffed piece of shit.
I was gonna say the best of us was lost that day.
It was.
Yeah.
I mean, regardless, that's $1 million idea.
So go ahead and go down. There will be a list of people.
Yeah.
All right. So
imagine getting knocked out by a kangaroo with Trump hair.
Are these just the cops?
Fucking socked in the face.
I swear to God, all these articles have changed since the last time I saw them.
Yeah.
But this is like the one cop that died, Brian Sicknick.
This is a coast or a air guard, a technically military person.
Well, no, he joined the Capitol Police Force. It says later on.
Oh,
he was the one Capitol Police officer that actually died that day.
Oh, okay.
Keep going down.
Sick Nick.
Oh, there we go. Ashley Babbitt, an
Hell
Air
yeah.
Force veteran from Southern California, was shot and killed by.
She got domed.
So the weird thing about the Capitol riot is like the most justified police shooting that's ever happened in America happened on that day. And also the most justified police killing happened on that day.
And there was
all
not a
things
solar
considered, the
eclipse.
only people that died that day were like radical Trump supporters and cops. And when I do the math on this, I can only come up with like a positive result out of all these things. Only people that needed to die died that day.
Yeah. Imagine her shock though when she crawled through a broken window towards a bunch of Secret Service guys holding guns.
Yeah.
And then they shot her.
Yeah. She's
especially after all the rest of them let her in.
Never would have expected this to happen.
Yeah, she is a Karen. Like like if there ever was one.
Yeah,
Like,
the ultimate Karen.
Yeah,
the thing that really sucks
she
is
was
that
literally shocked. And actually, didn't she kind of taunt the police, like, "Oh, really? You're gonna shoot me?" Or
That's what the
something like
report
that?
is. Yeah, I think so.
that actually
Yeah.
rules.
Yeah, so she
that's a
was
heroic
literally
final move,
shocked
for
when
sure.
she was shot to death.
But
Yeah,
oh my god, is that a gun?
you're
A
not going
9?
to shoot.
Really?
You're not man
but,
enough to shoot.
But I just I wish that the real chuds would treat these people like heroes, because number one, that would be funny.
Yeah.
And number two, it would, show character.
I agree.
Like you don't often get an opportunity where you get to be not a coward and be funny. Usually you have to pick one or the other, right? But
let's keep going down to the next name. Kevin Greason down. Kevin Greason, 55 of Athens, Atlanta, was standing in a throng of fellow Trump loyalists on the west side of the Capitol when he suffered a heart attack. What? Oh, Alabama. Sorry, I read that wrong. It's small on my screen. I apologize.
Ugh.
I don't know fucking southeast
go.
geography. Thank you. Yes, now I see it's Alabama. He just died from a heart attack.
yeah.
He was talking on the phone with his wife at the moment, which is probably a traumatic moment for her. Sorry to hear that.
But also like low key kind of funny, probably.
Yeah, but like now she owns the Ski-Doo business, so
Yeah. Well, I mean, okay, here's how we determine if it's funny or not. Did he call her and then have a heart attack, or was he having a heart attack and then he called her? Because one of these is funny and one of those is kind of like sad and sweet. And maybe a little funny in a different way.
Both kind of funny.
Yeah.
Down. Oh, this is not a complete list at all. Huh. Weird. Oh, there we go. Roseanne Boyland.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Tennessee.
After seeing that one, I need to say this because I've been shedding on people's names a lot the last few episodes and just calling them fake names.
Name. Yeah.
But learn how to name people.
Yeah.
If you're gonna have children and you're gonna force them to exist, name them something that makes sense. Name them something good.
Like
If
your
you
last name
come
is
from-
Boyland.
Yeah,
Can't you
please
just
stop.
name her Fun Boyland?
There you go. There you go. It's for the
Pro tip to all the proud boylands of the world: change your name, you pedophiles.
Yeah, for sure.
Probably.
How about if they named her Toysin?
Ooh, no.
Toysin Boyland?
Keep going down.
So I'm pretty sure that this is what Michael Jackson wishes he could have made a stage name.
Man.
Toysin Boyland.
Toysin Boyland.
No, he would just
John,
want
scroll
Poison.
down. Scroll down.
Like the
Boys
berry.
and Boylan.
There you go. We got it.
Mr. Boylan appears to have been go up. Mr. Boylan.
Miss.
Miss.
How dare you misgender someone with illiteracy?
Miss Boylan appears to have been killed in a crush of fellow rioters during their attempt to fight through a police line.
Obvious pedophile.
Keep going. Benjamin Phillips, the founder of a pro-Trump website called Trumparoo, was chipper as he drove a van of fellow Trump supporters from their home state of Pennsylvania to Washington. He told the Philadelphia Inquirer, "It felt like the first day of the rest of our lives." Mr. Phillips died of a stroke in Washington.
That kind of rules. Man, I want those to be my last words, though. Something like that.
This is the first day of the rest of my life. Stroke.
Yeah. I have a top 3. Okay?
No, we are not
ready?
going to Trumparoo, John. We are
Fuck
not
you.
going.
I'm in control of the internet.
God damn it.
3 choices.
I do need to take a quick break. If we.
This is obviously this is a kangaroo guy.
There you go.
All right.
Trumparoo,
that's
kangaroo. There you go.
The
there you
stuffed
go.
kangaroos guy.
But while Mike takes a break, I need people
please,
to decide
go
on my my final words. Okay. It could be that'll do, pig. That's a big choice. This is the first day of the rest of my life, or I seem to have been stabbed. Those are my top three. John, thoughts?
Sorry,
You can laugh at any of those. So
yeah, because all I was concentrating on was why does Deebs get to go on a break and I don't?
I mean, go. Just go.
Okay,
Just go.
Yeah, sorry about your story.
Yeah. Anyway, so guys, I gotta talk to you about a couple of real serious things here. Okay, this podcast has been great. Okay, and I know that we all love the Xanax rehab station or whatever we're calling it now. But I've been putting a lot of thought into it, and I have really just begun to believe that we need to start making next steps in order to produce something for you that makes more sense. And so I'm going to be replacing everyone on this podcast with smaller clones of myself. When I say smaller, I mean a range of things by that. I mean some that are unnoticeably smaller to the layman, but of course the listener will know, slight up pitch of the voice, things like that. Every millimeter counts with this kind of thing. But we'll also have some real small boys, some real small ones. We're talking a range of, it's difficult at that point in time to really adequately measure in terms of length. So like a 4 milligram Dorian is what I'm kind of thinking. And then like a 5 microgram Danko. Anyway, so that's what we're going to be replacing everyone on the podcast with, is with all of those other smaller versions of me. And then what we're going to do is we're going to fit them inside of one another, like nesting dolls. And you may be asking yourself, what do you mean fit them inside of one another? And you know what I mean by that. Anyway, it's been great being part of the Xanax rehab station with all of you. And we're also looking for a better name to replace that with after, we do what needs to be done with these cowards. And, oh, hey, guys, you're back.
Oh, John left as well? He just left you on your own? Dorian's frozen. No, he's not frozen. He was pretending to be frozen. You got me, you son of a bitch.
I'm an 8-year-old boy. I'm an 8-year-old boy. All right,
Can we go back to the article we were looking at?
What were we talking about?
People who died during January 6th.
Oh, yeah.
The worst thing that's happened since 9/11.
Worse than 9/11.
Well,
really.
Our democracy's at stake.
Yeah. Our democracy's at stake.
All right, so that's it. We maybe talked about all 5 of them. We maybe missed one.
Finally done talking about this day that no one in their right mind gives a shit about.
Moment of silence for literally one cop that died fighting all of his cop buddies. Multiple police officers were actually present on the rioting side of things during January 6th. Interesting to note. Let's go to
a moment of silence for whoever that guy was.
Yeah, a moment of silence for cops doing the right thing, which is killing other cops.
Yeah.
Next link, please, to bring us into
the Star Trek bullshit.
The realm.
I can't keep doing this.
She's got her like captain insignia on. Or is that a woman being tortured by a peacock?
I think so.
Yeah.
What is going on there?
Well, we tortured some folks.
It's about suffrage, probably. I don't know. Could you make it big and start playing it?
Hey, fuck you, Madison. I see that comment.
To have a contribution from one of the great creative talents of our time, Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Oh, please.
May his beautiful words be an inspiration to us.
Oh, she's going to read us our Miranda
Among the words
rights.
he said and the music will make it right for you. If we lay a strong enough foundation, will pass it on to you and will give the world to you. Lin-Manuel and his father and the Hamilton
Pause real quick.
singers who we'll hear from said that they were all very honored.
So, Nancy
Those words
Pelosi
ran through me like diarrhea.
Yeah.
Nancy Pelosi curiously brings up Lin-Manuel Miranda's father, who I learned not too long ago was actually a campaign advisor for such people as Hillary Clinton and Chuck Schumer, which may explain why Lin-Manuel Miranda has had success because his dad is very well connected and Lin-Manuel Miranda has no actual talent of his own, but has the connections in order to, put on the worst play that's ever been made. I think there's going to be a few people I know and care about who are going to be mad at me for saying this, but Lin-Manuel Miranda is possibly one of the worst things that's ever happened to theater production, and
I mean, he's certainly worse than January 6th.
Yeah, he is actually worse than January 6th. And and we'll go into a little bit why after whatever happens next in this clip, which is not going to make us feel good inside. I promise you that much.
I think that I would rather musicals be dominated by white men for another 100 years than
let the white gays have something.
Then I've had Hamilton be produced.
I think Pete Buttigieg has something. So.
Yeah, the white. Anglo gays. No, he's not Anglo. He's whatever. What is he?
Maltese.
Macedonian.
Macedonian.
Okay.
I see.
He's that falcon. He's that falcon gender.
Yeah. John, play more of this train wreck.
Honored to be asked to participate today.
Oh my God.
I call your attention to
a new year brings hope for the future, new energy to face the tasks ahead of us, and a renewed promise to strengthen the foundations of our democracy. We are all stewards of the American experiment, working to pass down to our children and our grandchildren a more perfect union that treats all its citizens with.
So only a psychopath would live in a room that's painted teal.
I agree.
Yeah,
I kind of like teal. The room looks like shit, but I don't know. I kind of like teal.
Look at those like fucking adrenochrome withdrawal bags under his eyes.
Yeah, that's the surprising thing to me, and it's not surprising, but it should be surprising. is how ungood at talk making he seems to be for a man of his status.
So like I said, this is the common link between Tim Kaine and the other person that I was talking about is Lin-Manuel Miranda. And after we watch this clip, we can look up Tim Kaine and the Membrane. It's fine. We can watch a little bit of that after we watch this clip. Don't do it yet, John.
That's an actual thing. Of course it is.
I literally moved my mouse like a centimeter.
Yeah, well, Mike's on to you.
Yeah,
he knows what's going on.
That was a microaggression.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Please play more of this until it gets so unbearable that we have to stop it.
It already happened.
Don't send the blue hairs.
Fairness and equity. We should never take our rights and liberties for granted, and we must remain committed to finding a way forward together.
1, 2,
That's
3.
what I wrote about in the song Dear Theodosia from Hamilton. I believe no challenge is worth abandoning our efforts to unite as Americans. We'll keep working, generation after generation, until we reach that someday.
No. No,
you gotta hold strong.
Dear Theodosia, what to say to
Don't do this.
You have my eyes. You
He looks so
have your
pained.
mother's name. When you came into the world, you
He looks bored.
cried, and it broke my heart.
Why is he smiling? He's saying that.
I'm dedicating every day to you.
He's not singing.
Domestic life was never quite my style. When you smile, you knock me out, I fall apart. And I thought I was so smart. You will come of age with our young.
Wait.
All right, we
He
don't
looks
have to
angry
listen
now.
to any more
Who-
of
Do
this.
it. No, it's stuck. Keep going.
Who's Theodosia?
I don't fucking know.
Theodosia something Burr.
Black woman that Hamilton
No.
impregnated.
No.
What?
Theodosia Burr is Aaron Burr's child.
Yeah,
Notably,
that's
and
what I
this is the
said.
thing that I wanted to bring up. Aaron Burr, slave owner.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
now a bunch of black and brown men.
This is why
Are
Lin-Manuel
singing-
Miranda is the worst thing that's ever happened to theater. Is the entire play of Hamilton completely ignores the fact that all of the people who are playing the characters of people like Alexander Hamilton, Aaron Burr, others, they're played by black people who would have been slaves at the time.
Yeah,
The issue of slavery is
they're taking
completely
it back.
ignored. The issue of slavery is completely ignored in this, and it's recently come out because one historian decided to do a little fucking work. Alexander Hamilton actually owned slaves. So the entire play of Hamilton is based off of really what could be classified as white supremacist propaganda.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. It's whitewashing by making everyone black.
Yes.
So
unironically, that's exactly
Yeah.
what it is. And
Yeah.
I don't know if Lin-Manuel Miranda is smart enough to be doing that on purpose, or if he's just such a weird, cringy, liberal little fucking twerp that he can't help but do that kind of thing.
No, he's doing it because it's to him like a meaningful, sweet subversion where everyone in America has the opportunity to be these kinds of people, as in asshole slave owners.
The subversion is where you completely erase the history of slave ownership.
Yeah, in order to
yeah. Well,
power to you.
I don't know. It's
same.
it's just fucking wild.
Yeah,
absolutely wild.
All right, we got to listen to the rest of it.
No,
so we get this pulled off of Spotify. Do it, John. Please.
Jesus.
Do it for the fans.
Before we continue.
Dude, for God.
At the very least, HC says Immortal Technique was doing God's work. Immortal Technique has claimed that he bullied Lin-Manuel Miranda in school. Based. Busta Nut says, yeah!
Hell yeah.
I finally caught the show live.
Well,
Enjoying pizza RN. I'm dedicating every day to the Benzo Rehab Dungy.
That's
Based.
cool.
Love you.
Yeah. Based. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes me feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I have
we love the unhinged listener.
Yeah. Same. But I'm just imagining Immortal Technique like holding Lin-Manuel Miranda's head into the toilet while like practicing his early raps. Like, you better watch what the fuck flies out of your mouth, or I'm a hijack a plane. And
Here's my proposition.
Don't interrupt me while I'm rapping, Michael.
Sorry. Oh,
no,
sorry.
I'm done. Go on.
My proposition is that John looks up Tim Kaine in the Membrane, and we watch just a second of that, and then
can't stop this. Can't interrupt this for Tim Kaine.
No, please, yeah, no, come on, don't make me listen to this.
John,
No.
do the wrong thing. Do the wrong thing. Do the wrong thing.
I refuse to listen to more of a song about loving your rape baby.
You guys are wimps. Big babies.
John,
your black rape baby.
Look up
Jesus.
Tim Kaine in the
God damn it.
So
this is like that scene in Homeward Bound or like Air Bud or whatever, where it's like you gotta choose, Air Bud. You want to go with the mean old bad guy, or do you want to come to me with a family?
Is that what happens in that movie?
I don't know. I've seen scenes like that before, I think.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things about still having my
Shopski.
ancestral slave owner's name is that I can when white people ask me about how I got that last name, I can tell them like 250 years ago, a Scottish guy raped my great grandmother.
I mean, you could just simplify it too, and just look at me and just say rape.
Yeah, rape.
And that will diffuse every conversation you're ever going to have with that person from now on.
Yeah. No.
You've set the precedent at the very least.
Goodbye.
John, please look up Tim Kaine in the membrane.
Can't believe we're listening to this schlock instead. This nonsense.
Yeah, the schlock instead of Dear Theodosia.
Yeah.
Oh, it's already popping up. No. Erase one letter and then, go down. Oh, man. 7 seconds. That's all we need.
Oh, man.
Tim Kaine in the membrane. Tim Kaine in the brain.
What the fuck?
Something of note.
Please, before we have to listen to more of her. And then look up Lin-Manuel Miranda freestyle on train.
Oh, okay. This one.
How the fuck do I even
Lin? L-I-N.
Oh, L-I-N.
Yeah.
L-Y-M.
There he is. What else?
Yeah. Freestyle on train.
Really early Soul Train recording on Jimmy Fallon.
Oh, there we go. Yep, 7 seconds, all we need.
I'm past patiently waiting, I'm passionately smashing every expectation, every action.
Why'd you stop? We only had 7 seconds to get through.
How can you not sit through 7 seconds of a man spitting at you?
This man got bars, son.
Because
Chopper
of our,
rap, Tech 9 shit.
Our post-show reminiscing about the most unmanly man we know.
Oh, yeah. Pre-show reminiscing.
This is
say, how do you know what's going to happen after this?
Yeah.
We're all pissing on me.
Instead of like Scotch-Irish unmanliest man, it's Puerto Rican or something.
Yes, I believe
or at least manly man.
Yeah. Each race has their unmanliest man. We measure their skull and then their penis.
Well, it's more about how much their voice cracks at the age of 38.
Yeah, that's fair.
Can we round out this clip, please?
No, can we start it over?
Oh yeah, start it over. There we go.
Thank you.
That was the real thing.
I don't want half of a syllable.
I'm past patiently waiting, I'm passionately smashing every expectation, every action's an act of creation.
Jesus.
That's it.
Incredible. He's even doing a like front rhyme, but he's doing it with the same word. And that is just the epitome of art. That's some fine freestyle, and in my mind, he should go on Sway in the morning, in the AM.
So John, there's a link tab that says C-SPAN. Go to the one to the right of it.
And this woman looks pained.
New research suggests Alexander Hamilton was a slave owner. So people like to imagine Alexander Hamilton because he spoke out against slavery. They like to imagine him as an abolitionist, of course. Not true, necessarily. He was an abolitionist in as much as he would say, "Oh yeah, it's really sad how we have slaves," but Alexander Hamilton, widely understood by historians, was a liaison for slave trades.
I mean, I consider myself a feminist, but I still refuse to like satisfy a woman.
Well, yeah,
it's that kind of thing, you know. That's just the way this works.
I still abuse my partners, you know, like whatever you want to say. And then a historian did some actual research and found in Alexander Hamilton's cash book was a receipt basically for him himself selling a person named Penny, I think it was, but basically he sold a slave to somebody else. So he himself legitimately owned slaves.
Is he going to give them away?
He was a liaison for slave trades. Aaron Burr, the other person that is singing the song Dear Theodosia in the play, well-known slave owner. So
played by a black guy, right?
Yes, I mean, Lin-Manuel Miranda plays Alexander Hamilton because of course he wrote himself into his own play.
Yeah.
And then yeah, I believe Aaron Burr is played by a black man. Which like the entire idea that you can just like Danko said earlier, whitewash these histories by putting black people in their shoes is just disgusting and sickening, and they completely ignore the fact that all of the Latino and black people at this time were basically derided, and black people were slaves. The play just fucking ignores that. It's all about like, we're building this grand new idea.
I think that oh shit, I lost it.
And real quick, because you lost it anyways.
Yeah.
Abolition was extremely popular in Europe at the time of America's founding.
Yeah.
So, trying to say that the founding fathers were abolitionists in any way is a complete mischaracterization, because they were still owning slaves while Europe was getting rid of slavery, and they held on to slavery for like 200 more years past when Europe had gotten rid of it.
It's Dave Rubin calling himself a leftist.
Right.
But shit, I lost mine too. God, we have brain viruses. We got prions.
I'm firing on all cylinders, homies.
Eating away at our stupid brain heads.
Well, I think that what's most important is that powerful white people can start to see colored people as white also. I think that's what the point of this is.
What's
black people can be white too, and so can Puerto Ricans.
So long as we keep someone out, we can include anyone who we want.
That's literally what happened with the Irish, right? Like
I say, take the Irish, kick them out, bring in the Puerto Ricans.
Well, you're
got to be balanced.
You're ignoring the Italian problem, Dor.
Yeah.
Well, we just keep them where they are. That's not a problem.
Puerto Rican seafood is much better than Irish seafood, so
yeah, probably. But
don't tell me that garbage in a pail is good.
Let me just point one thing out, which is that if they took the entirety of Hamilton and without changing really anything and put it into the aesthetic framework of Always Sunny in Philadelphia or South Park, people would understand that it was a joke.
Yeah.
Right. And they wouldn't have to change anything. Granted, I say this not having seen it and refusing to see it, like I didn't know who Theodosia was, and I still kind of don't. But you take it and you just place it into this setting where just everyone in the world is saying like, oh my God, this is so woke and cool. And it gets read in this entirely different context. And that is such a bizarre hat trick to me.
This could have been good if it was like Book of Mormon.
Yeah. It would be good if you had a neon sign just saying this is a fucking joke. It would be hilarious. It would be so fucking funny.
If Lin-Manuel Miranda didn't have brainworms inserted into his head at a very early age and didn't grow up to be a weird, twerpy liberal who doesn't understand what they're doing, but they're still working in service to like white supremacy because that's the only thing they know how to do, even though they're like trying to mask it in like identity politics. They don't know anything other to do than to just work in favor of white supremacy. Which completely removes the idea that black people were slaves at this time. All of the white men, notably white men exclusively, were securing power for themselves in this new world. It had nothing to do with freedom. It was everything to do about a power grab that they seized at the moment. And then they instituted 200 years of slavery after Europe had essentially like gotten rid of slavery.
Right. And if people had the like sociopolitical literacy that they would like on par with the type of literacy that they had with like basic human relationships and the way that human beings speak with one another, then they would watch Hamilton and feel like it was a Neil Breen movie. Anyway.
So one of the things that wanted to talk about tonight was there's all of this hysteria about how January 6th was an attack on democracy, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is the major threat to democracy, that people can storm into the halls of Congress, essentially do nothing. Most of them, leave without incident and then get charged later by the state apparatus.
Someone wrote a note and there was poop.
Yeah, well,
so what
I
Nancy
do every
Pelosi's
night desk is honestly one of the most base things one of the most base things that's happened in a long time. That doesn't threaten democracy. That just means that people don't like Nancy Pelosi. And I think
you can't dislike Nancy Pelosi without disliking democracy, Michael.
Right. Nancy Pelosi and democracy aren't the same thing to me. And what I would challenge out of all this is that first off, we live in a society which is not a democracy, and
it's a republic, actually, Michael.
Didn't Andrew Jackson have to flee the White House? Was it Andrew Jackson?
I mean, the White House has been like torched a couple of times now.
Well, by Americans, this is
sure.
like they talk about which I guess Andrew Jackson was before the Civil War, but they like to bring up that it was an enemy force, but like Americans have attacked the Capitol before.
So that is a point I would like to get into as well, which is that Democrats are completely misunderstanding the moment of what January 6th is, and they're trying to make it into an attack on all of us, when the reality is Kamala Harris relates it to December 7th, 1941 and 9/11, 2001. Those are things that were almost universally read as assaults against all of America. Nobody sees January 6th as an assault against all of America. There's partisan lines drawn, of course, but there's no like unifying sort of thing that says, hey, we were all attacked this day on January 6th. There's actually a deep political divide that says we were fighting for freedom on January 6th, and then the other side of that line is we were upholding democracy on January 6th. There's no unifying factor there. So the fact that they're trying to relate this to like deeply unifying moments is like completely misunderstanding the political moment to begin with.
Well, also, like, historically speaking, I'm sure in 20 years, people are just going to be talking about, oh gosh, on January 6th, when those scary men did the scary thing. And most people are just going to fucking forget about it otherwise.
Yeah.
And unless you're like an internet poisoned shitlord who cares about politics in a genuine way, then it is just going to be that unifying thing.
So
the history just washes this shit out. Sorry, John.
No, it's fine. I think the best thing about listening to the news this week has been the like terrified after all these like bullshit speeches about daggers and fucking 9/11 and bullshit, is that these like terrified like affluent millennial fucking like statisticians that are on the news that are just terrified by the fact that all of the fucking opinion polling and parsing out the statistics is that America does not give a shit about January 6th.
No, without a doubt. Most people do
like
not.
just hearing the like sadness and the fucking like fear in the ruling class that nobody cares that they were attacked.
Our democracy was under assault.
Yeah, we're gonna have January 6th, Part 2, Revenge of Nate Silver.
And so that's what leads me into the next set of links that I'm going to get into.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Which is, if the Democrats really wanted to preserve democracy in as much as we can actually have it here in America,
they would burn down the building with themselves in it.
Well, not necessarily, but go ahead and go to the next link. Manchin, once again, back in the news.
Our boy.
Weird.
He loves kids.
Oh, man. Manchin's reluctance leaves Democrats' U.S. voting rights bill at risk. So after the failure of the Build Back Better bill,
was still the best name for a bill. Very glad.
We
got to build back better. Bring me a bread
now
bowl.
we have
it's like they're
the
trying
Voting
to spit
Rights
their dentures
Act.
out.
Well, it's just a name that fat people aren't able to say.
The silence. So now Manchin is the big villain for another massive bill that needs to be passed. Which is the voting rights legislation that's being proposed by people who, maybe they wanted to pass, but if they really wanted it to pass, why are they letting it fail so miserably? We don't know.
I do love that he looks like he's wearing like a really preppy schoolgirl uniform, like the cut of this jacket.
Got the
kind
dress
of looks
up,
like
that
a...
pants.
Oh yeah, he's got a skirt on behind that, which is honestly my favorite thing about him. I think it's hot.
Yeah, like he's the richest Japanese schoolgirl.
Ooh.
Oof.
So we have
Manchin. Headcanon.
we have Manchin once again being the villain of a bill that's supposed to make our lives better, and the Democrats just have no way to. How do we make Manchin sign on to this bill? We have to negotiate with him again. I would like to call to the listener and watcher's attention that Joe Manchin's wife was given a very prominent education role in West Virginia by the Biden administration. It's a cabinet position which could be removed at any fucking time, which Joe Biden has not like publicly threatened in any way, and just seems to be happy to keep letting happen. So, there are real things that Biden could do if he really wanted to pressure Manchin into like maybe doing something good for America.
And let's just point out
you could take a shit on Joe Manchin's desk.
Also true.
He's the president.
And, there's the whole thing where theoretically people leftwardly leaning would like to deal with things like climate change. And so maybe having some kind of executive order or something threatening coal would also fucking light a fire under this fucking coal baron's ass. I don't know, maybe just a thought.
Plenty of things that Joe Biden, were his agenda items legitimate and true and earnest, Joe Biden could do. However, he has not done any of those things. I've heard recently that they're reigniting talks about Build Back Better once the voting rights legislation has been completely written. So we'll still never get both of those things.
But he did fight off a few black teenagers when he was a kid. That's pretty heroic and cool.
Please go to the next link, John. Care about views.
Where is Sacramento even?
So Kamala Harris has been kind of put in charge of the voting rights stuff.
That's good.
And in this second paragraph from where I linked it to, Harris, who at her own request was appointed in June by Biden to lead on the issue, has failed to win support for federal voting laws from Republican senators and has not been able to persuade holdout Democrats to carve an exception to the filibuster. Most of her work has instead been spent meeting with activists and speaking at events. She's literally done nothing. Next link, please.
Well, she is trying to push that new rule. Did you hear about this? This new voting rights rule is that if you don't go to the polls and vote, she'll put your kids in jail.
Oh, that's one of those things.
Yeah. I don't know. One of those things? You mean a lie I made up on the spot, or?
Well, no. Probably
or another racist policy that she's developed.
So the real story here is that and John, if you could please exit out of the sign into the New York Times and Google thing.
And they doxed you.
No, it was just getting in my way. It was the Benzo Rehab Dungeon email. That's not my
No, they saw your name. They saw Michael Deebs. They know.
They saw my name is Michael Deebs. God damn. So the real story here is that Democrats have actually lost the fucking edge like months ago now.
I wish they knew how to use punctuation in these headlines. I hate journalism.
Yes.
But okay, I'm going to fix it. So it's Republicans gain heavy House, comma, edge in 22, comma, as gerrymandered maps emerge.
Wow, that sounds like a giant dick joke now.
Yeah. Those weren't the appropriate commas, I don't think.
No, that's it. Republicans gain heavy House, edge in 2022.
So the real story of voting rights is the gerrymandering that Democrats already allowed to happen. Because Democrats wouldn't get rid of the fucking filibuster and like actually pass legislation that would have mattered to, you know, let's imagine a world in which Democrats are actually trying to do good things for people. If they really actually wanted to do good things for people, they would have squashed using their party majority that they have right now in all branches of the legislation. They would have reformed the filibuster so that they could pass the bills that were supposed to fix gerrymandering, supposed to fix things like voter right suppression, etc.
That they would have dragged all the intellectuals into the killing fields. It broke everyone into pieces who wears glasses.
But instead, they let the Republicans gerrymander basically in every state except for like a handful, one of which is California, but even that's kind of dubious in some regards. So the Republicans have gerrymandered all the districts again, and they've gerrymandered it in such a way that statisticians who aren't Nate Silver are guaranteeing that like 5 House seats are going to flip towards Republican. And there's basically nothing we can do to avoid that because that's just the way gerrymandering works. Go ahead and go to the next link and say whatever you wanted to say too.
Well, it's wild because the Supreme Court has ruled, if I'm not mistaken, that you're allowed to parse voters up into ways that their votes don't matter, and that you basically decide who wins the elections.
What the Supreme Court eventually ruled is that Congress needs to make a decision on it.
Oh, yeah,
and lo and behold, Congress has not made a decision on it, despite the fact that Congress is primarily owned by Democrats right now. They decided to not do anything about gerrymandering.
Well, because, they also gerrymander. It's just that they're not as good at edging as the Republicans are.
That's
true. For sure. And also, there's the other side of things where I think the Democratic Party likes being the quote unquote resistance party, because if Trump's presidency is to be, taken into consideration, the Democratic Party had record-breaking fundraising during the entire time Trump was in office.
So really the problem is that the Democrats are too good at edging, and they're always going to complain about how they can never come.
Oh, I can't ever come. I can't ever fucking jizz this legislation.
Why are the Republicans always busting nuts all over my room when I'm not allowed to ever get to the climax with my penis?
So it's a known
or vagina
that Democrats are into permanent chastity.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Next link, please, John.
Which you wouldn't think so, since all of them don't have teeth.
Yeah, I just gotta say I'm really disappointed in everyone, because I've never heard a chastity belt referred to as a chastity chassis.
Yeah, actually, no, we should all
very
start
disappointing.
Over. We should start the human race over.
Yeah, burn it to the ground.
we finally found the flaw in humanity.
You know what they could do is they could mix the two words and just call it a chassis.
So Joe Biden, usually agnostic about the filibuster, has now come out in support of, well, if somebody wants to get rid of the filibuster, maybe we can do it. Stop playing with the children.
That's his stance on everything.
Side there, John. Yeah, no, that is his stance on everything, which is the most milquetoast way you could maybe criticize how bad things are.
But is that an ad for Boysland?
No, it is not.
on a Joe Biden fucking
Jesus Christ.
Boyland, the new resort town in the Little St. James.
And when you've worn out your welcome at Girlsland.
Yeah. I mean, everyone's been frustrated enough at one point in time in Girlsland, and they're just like, I'm just gonna stick to Boysland, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I'm done with girls. I'm going to Boysland.
Yeah. I've always said that. Hit me up.
So Joe Biden is now coming out in favor of, in the interest of passing anything whatsoever, maybe we should get rid of the filibuster for this one thing, which is voting rights. Voting rights is interesting because they've already let all of the gerrymandering happen. So voting rights don't really have the same impact that they would have if you had like anti-gerrymandering and then voting rights on top of that. That would be like ideal. Now you've got gerrymandering, which is going to like oppress everything around it. And then maybe we'll get a voting rights bill passed through. Probably not. But they're putting forward the good face that they're going to do it. Go ahead and go to the next link.
I got a good metaphor for the
Please.
Biden presidency. All right, so you're with your partner, and your partner says, "You know what? I'm gonna take us out to dinner. All right, we're gonna get
Denny's again,
filet mignon and lobster and sushi, and we're gonna get all this amazing stuff." You
I'm
guys
too
get into the
simple to
car,
know how to pronounce all those words.
and you'll get into the car, and they look over at you and they say, "So where do you want to go?" And you say, well, there's a steakhouse down the way. And they say, no. But where do you want to go?
Sizzler?
Yeah, Sizzler? And they're like, oh, no,
not even Sizzler.
But where do you want to go? And eventually you're just like, I don't know, you just want to go to like fucking Sonic, and I'll get like some crushed ice with syrup in it. And you're like, no.
Oh man, not even Sonic.
And then by the end of the night, you're both just sitting there in the car, and then you're just like, fuck it, I just want to go to bed. And he says, all right, well, fine. I really wanted to take you somewhere nice.
Yeah. That's Joe Biden.
And that's why we're going to go on a second date with him in 4 years. Yeah. Well,
So we have as recent as I could find, which was kind of during the beginning of last year.
Damn, that
Democratic senator stances on reforming the filibuster. Now, reforming the filibuster is a key thing to point out here, which is not that they want to get rid of the filibuster necessarily, but they're open to reforming it in some ways so that maybe it's not quite as obscene.
Yeah, you don't want to get rid of anything. You want to reform it.
Yeah.
We got a new idea where the Democratic Party is going to get rid of rape by reforming it.
Oh, man. This has been one of our most problematic episodes so far.
We got this big problem where people are rounding up small animals and crushing them live on camera. What should we do? Should we make that illegal? No! We can reform it. We can fix him.
So notably, you're going to see Open to Reform is up on the screen right now in the middle. Michael Bennett supported a 2010 bill to shorten the length and limit of opportunities for filibusters. So cool. That's the last time Michael Bennett has said anything about filibuster reform. This may be an indicator of where he feels about filibuster reform in general, that he's only talked about it 11 to 12 years ago. We have 22 Senate Democrats who are open to reform of the filibuster. Not saying they support reform of the filibuster, not coming out to like sponsor bills to reform the filibuster, just saying that they're open. 22 of them. As of how things stand right now, we have 50 Democratic senators and 50 Republican senators. So almost half of Democratic senators are just open to the idea of filibuster reform. Go ahead and scroll down to the bottom.
Tammy Duckworth.
Yeah, Tammy Duckworth, who sucks.
Again, stop naming people. No one's allowed to name people anymore. Everyone is numbered.
I lost a leg in a chopper in an unjust war, so now I'm gonna be like the weird right but also left wing clown piece. I don't know.
What's the name of that other guy? Like he's in a wheelchair, but it's not through like any war stuff.
Madison Cawthorn.
Thank you, man. That guy's cool.
Yeah, he sucks.
Didn't he like beat his, or is just so? Oh no, he wasn't a spouse abuser. He was just like so miserable of a person.
He's doing like kipping pull-ups at a CrossFit tournament or something, and his fucking spine snapped. That's my headcanon.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
No, I have no idea what happened to him. I just know he's in a CrossFit and his legs don't work, which seems appropriate.
Go down to
CrossFit joke. Woo! I used to lift.
Go down to the bottom of the article, John. Still deciding or unannounced. Tom Carper asked about his thoughts on the filibuster. Carper demurred to NewsHour on Tuesday. There's a lot of conversations, a lot of discussions, negotiations going on with respect to voting rights, and I'm encouraged by those. He repeated the statement again when asked about the filibuster. Mark Kelly, when we get to the point where we're going to have, a serious discussion about this, I'll make a decision based on what's in the best interest of Arizona and the country, Kelly told reporters in April.
Hey, have you stopped speaking to your? Have you stopped fucking someone on the side? You stopped seeing your mistress? Well, we're in a lot of really interesting talks right now. We're going to speak about something with real weight to it, something I can sink my teeth into. Then maybe. But for now, if you could just take the kids for the night, that would be fantastic. I have to go to work.
When you're ready to have a serious conversation. Maybe I'll stop sticking my dick in French prostitutes.
And then we have the patsies.
The Italian ones stay.
we have the patsies of what ends up being the majority of the Democratic Party when you do the math between there's 50 Democratic senators, 22 of them are open to the filibuster reform. 2 of them are still deciding or unannounced, and 2 of them are against filibuster reform. That adds up to 26.
And
you have
the open
patsies.
thing. The open thing is like, oh yeah, I'm open to like trying a threesome.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah, I'm totally into it if you can like sort everything,
Because if you look at this whole article, even the people that are like supporting filibuster reform like are almost like what I would classify as open to filibuster reform.
Yeah.
But this is how the article lays it out. But still, even in this article, which is being generous to some people, we have 26 Democratic senators who are not really on board with reforming the filibuster. And then we have the patsies of the party, which are Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema, neither of which want to eliminate or weaken the filibuster, because it's a very important democratic process when the majority doesn't win and you need a super majority instead.
Yeah. One of them has vulnerable narcissism, and one of them has whatever the cool one is.
Girl boss. I don't know actually which one you were talking about first, but
and neither do I. I just know there's 2 types of narcissism, and they're both awful.
John,
they switch. Please. They oscillate.
Next link.
That
is a Star Trek.
This was going
it is.
To be...
It absolutely is Star Trek. It's Star Trek.
I wanted to end on a light note, and I figured people who love each other, embracing each other, would be a good thing to end on.
Oh man. Well, we do have another thing to cover after this.
We do, which I'm glad for, because after I watched this and I realized, this isn't wholesome. This is bad.
Yeah. I mean, probably no one's watching this anymore anyway, but
somebody's probably watching this. Somebody's gonna listen to us regardless.
That's true. That's true. The listener is always the one holding my heart.
I mean,
and squeezing it.
We have lost viewers in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah,
well, that's because of the thing that I said.
God bless them.
Are they back?
Yeah, one's back.
Thanks, one.
Yeah.
There's certainly no latency here.
This is Nancy Pelosi welcoming Dick Cheney onto the House floor.
Mm-hmm.
Please play this clip.
The House stands adjourned until 6:30 p.m. on Monday, January 10th, 2022.
So she's coming down from her little House Speaker podium. She's gonna walk around. She's gonna skip some people. She's gonna be like, "Oh no, I gotta go say hello to Dick Cheney. Excuse me. Dick Cheney, it's so good to see you again. And Lynn Cheney, oh, we love you so much. Oh yes, it's so good to make friends with you again. Oh yes, I remember the good old days when war criminals were civil with each other."
Dick Cheney looks like that motherfucker from Phantasm now.
Yeah,
like you expect to have evil orbs shooting blood.
I could immediately pick him out of the crowd. Even though they're all bald-headed white guys in suits.
Yeah, because he's the gray man from Phantasm.
Yeah. It's like how you can recognize Emperor Palpatine in a fucking crowd full of fucking hooded psychopaths.
Just feel the evil pouring off of it. I do have to say something about this, which is that I'm obviously not telling anyone to do anything because I would never tell anyone to do anything because I'm an idiot.
Yes.
But there is a certain ethical statement that could be made about the fact that every single day, Dick Cheney and Kissinger and a certain variety and type of people walk into rooms and then find a way to walk out of them.
Yes.
That's all I have to say. I think that's amazing. I think it's really incredible. But my solution is just arrest them. I mean, that's the one that I'll say.
Yes. With the law,
put them in jail where they genuinely belong, despite the fact that I don't really believe in that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't believe in anything anymore. I'm
citizens arrest, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
drunken mob, whatever.
Pitchforks,
This
burning
was
stools.
the most feel good moment I could find out of the week. I'm sure there were other feel good moments, but I don't know. I didn't find them.
Yeah, they're not there.
However, you and I watched a movie this week.
Yeah. Would you like to announce the name, or should I?
Let's John, just go ahead and go to the next link, and I think it'll. Oh, that doesn't make any sense.
No, it's a fine piece of 2002 cinema,
which is called.
Should he press play or should we say it? I don't know how this
works.
No.
Go ahead and press play. I think
press play, which is called press play. It's called Panacea Productions.
No. That's
It's called
the studio that made it.
Awful visual format. Looks like it's from Instagram. Presents.
Yes.
This should be our new theme song.
Yes. Out of shape film student running down a street. I love it.
Is there? I don't remember the title popping up. Does it? Did you mark this?
It does pop up. I think.
Is it after this whole cold opening with the him being
I believe
nibbled?
So.
Then this is very long.
Yeah. So we have like little goblin laughs.
Yeah, as a
weird
man
ponytailed guy that's not good at acting, running around,
doing fake parkour.
Yeah, he's extremely tired already. Even with all
he
the
dropped down
cutscenes.
literally like 3 feet.
Yeah, I got flat feet, so that's really impressive. That hurts when I do it.
Oh man, he's got a tool shirt on.
So now there are 2 little people. I'm not sure what we're supposed to call them now.
Wait, is that the staircase where they had the rat with the pizza?
It's the staircase from The Exorcist. No, it's not.
Oh no, he's found himself trapped underneath the overpass.
He's surrounded by 3 gangster-looking little people.
Yes.
Wearing
with sharp
fangs.
teeth. Yeah, sharp teeth.
And they surround him and begin to nibble him.
Immediate orgy.
He's displeased by this orgy.
There's so much oral sex on the
staring at his
screen, listener.
crotch. There's some graffiti about Jesus, which is really deep. And then White Blade appears.
Yes.
And
But Black Blade is there too.
Well, no, but he's very little.
Oh yeah, very little Black.
But you are onto something there, actually, which is what I'm going to get into. And it's terribly mic'd. No one can ever understand what anyone's saying in this film, or your eardrums will be blown out.
Yo.
We have a zoom in to White Blade's face. They do like the Evil Dead zoom. He's shooting these little people with a shotgun, and he has a little person with him on his side.
Yeah, it's a good little person.
Good little person.
Yeah.
There's a fight. This is awful for the listener. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, this is my favorite part. This is my favorite part of the fucking movie.
Yeah.
He's got the gun up to his stomach.
Shotgun
He fires, and there is no special effect for blood or anything of the sort.
Yeah.
Blows his fucking stomach open, and nothing. He has a clean shirt. It's awesome. Guy in the tool shirt still sitting there.
I don't think Maynard's going to allow. He didn't sue over this?
I don't know. I'm seeing Tool later this month, so I'll ask him.
Yeah, because
I'll ask him what he thought of the name of the movie, which I'm not allowed to say yet because we haven't gotten to that moment.
I don't think we're actually ever going to get.
I don't think we are. I don't think we are. I don't know why we're doing this. It is called Ankle Biters.
Oh,
2002's Ankle Biters, a beautiful movie, which is apparently on the surface level about little people vampires who live in the daylight and nibble people in really kind of mundane ways. There's not a whole lot of blood in the movie.
And they do they go into how they convince this one little person to like go against other little people?
No, they don't explain the good little person, but okay, so here's the idea.
There's multiple elements of Blade going on here.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Yeah.
So the idea of the movie, on a surface level, and I'll tell you what it's actually about in a moment, or my theory, and of course I'm sure Mike has many theories here as well. But the movie is about a world where vampires exist, and none of the normal vampire stuff works on them. You can only kill them by putting vampire blood into their bodies, which are assumedly also full of vampire blood. And then they die. But there are only little people vampires left, because for some reason, little people vampires and big people vampires are a different species, I guess. And all of the big people vampires have died, except for one in Rome. Like a bizarrely short period of time ago for Rome. It was like in the 1800s. Who apparently at some point in time procreated, and I guess this is a very recessive gene, because after a few generations, White Blade appears, and he's very sensitive to sunlight, and he's got bitey teeth. But anyway, so the thing that these little vampires are trying to do is get this magical sword, which they actually get very early, so it's not really about them trying to get it, it's about them having it, I guess, which they are able to use to make big vampires.
Yep.
And that would be bad if we made a bunch of big vampires.
So is this Hamilton?
Yes.
It's a bunch it's a bunch of little people trying to become big people.
Yeah. That's a weird racialized thing that you just said, but I actually, that is where I want to go with this, which is, Mike, do you have any thoughts that you want to put out before I give my big theory, or should I just dive into it first?
All right, so this is essentially Blade, but worse.
Yeah, which Blade rules. I'm gonna say
it doesn't.
Blade 3 is awful. Blade and Blade 2 are great.
Agree to disagree.
Every cool person agrees with me. It's Shaft.
I mean,
teeth.
Blade is essentially about race traitorism, right?
You could say that.
I could say that, and I will say that.
Is that not what
Blade
Hamilton's
is a vampire?
about?
Vampires have their way, and Blade refuses to be as vampires are, and he instead kills them. He is a race traitor by definition.
And so I see. Actually, it seems like you and I actually came to very similar thoughts on this. We didn't speak about this at all.
No, we didn't.
We watched this movie separately.
You showed me this movie and you told me to watch it, and I felt bad afterwards.
And this happened last night. Like, this was all very sudden. But so we haven't communicated about this, but I think we're onto the same thing. This movie is about a very specific type of totally not racist guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure is.
And this movie is about miscegenation. Okay. So what we have is the dude that every cringy nerd dude wanted to be in 2002.
Yes. His name is Drexel, by the way.
His name is Drexel. Exactly. This man is trying to find a bunch of little people, and we all know the little people are really funny, right? Like, this movie thinks it's funny.
It desperately wants to be funny at some points.
And badass. It's funny and badass.
And it's neither.
This is a movie made by the Drexel University. This is a movie made by the sword guy with a trench coat who thinks jokes about tossing midgets are really funny. And here's the important thing. It's him writing a story about how not racist he is. Okay. And so what's actually happening here, and there's some proof elsewhere in the film. I gotta stop looking at the screen. It's very distracting.
Yes. John has gone on a tangent.
But
go back to ankle biters, John.
Well, I was just thinking that hasn't, like, Drexel's been used as a character name multiple times, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's just a cool sounding name. Drexel in the trench coat.
Anything with an X is like automatically amplified in coolness.
Or just like swap out with like a K or something. Yeah. But so all of the vampires in this are wearing various levels of like gangster outfits. Some are dressed as cholos, Some are dressed as like a 90s vision a white guy would produce of like someone in Compton. Like they're all parodies of racial stereotypes. And they constantly refer to people as half-breed, right? And they're specifically talking about Drexel when they're calling him half-breed, which is supposed to be like a Blady kind of thing. But if I'm not mistaken, he actually refers to other people as half-breed, and I think it's supposed to mean that they're small.
Yep.
They're half. And he calls tall people shorty also. It's really bizarre. He's very confused about who is who.
He's 6'3" and 220 pounds.
And some of these guys are 5'11", right?
Yeah.
And this guy's body, he's got the most average looking body in the world too. Like they picked a really weird actor for this. But
yeah, this is not what I would consider.
No, he doesn't have a chin and shit. Like it's not good.
No.
But there are a couple moments in the film that are really important to me that end up kind of bolstering my view, which is when I'll pass it on. Yeah, that would actually be perfect if we just played in the background silently. But he has this little person vampires on his side, and we don't know why or anything like that.
Yeah.
But he is the good one, right? Yep. This is something that I've heard from all of these sword-wielding guys at some point in the past. They will always, if you spend enough time with them, these hot couch guys, they will always at some point in time end up saying, I don't dislike black people, I just dislike, and then they drop an N-bomb.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And they all do it, all of them. And in this instance, he has this other little person who all of these little people, whether they're white or black in this, are supposed to be black people.
They're N-words.
Yeah, exactly. And so at one point though, his friend turns on him, and he has to be put down.
Yep.
And following from this is something that I would put in this movie to make a funny point, but they did it on their own, which is that they said, I'm assuming that it's very confusing about what exactly is happening, but suddenly a cross appears. We have a shot of the cross, and then they light it on fire.
Holy shit.
And it fades out, and it fades back in, and it's on fire some more, and then it fades out, and then it fades back in, and then it's like up in smoke. Which is a really bizarre. They love fading in and out in this movie. They just do it constantly. It's like, I expected a star swipe or something at some point, but it's all fade in, fade out. And like this vignetting way. I don't know a whole lot about these terms, so I'm sorry if there's better words for these. But yeah, so what happens in this film really is this man who is really insecure about his racialized position, because we're talking about people living in the South here. In a neighborhood that looks pretty shitty. Like everything in the movie looks bad. Like these are people that just are not growing up well. And he is racialized. He has a racialized insecurity, so which is to say he's white trash. And he determines that he needs to produce otherness with these people. And he has one black friend, but the rest of them are N-words. And then finally, the black friend that he has, he realizes, well, they're all the same in the end, right? And because he betrays him in some way, and this culminates in just it's all power fantasy from there, with him just jerking off and explosions and no real explosions. It's just shooting, and the shooting is really bad, and they don't even do like after effects with it.
They didn't have the budget for explosions.
Yeah, they have actual guns.
Did they have
some caliber at the end?
More little people? I swear they killed some of these little people already.
No, they reuse them constantly, but they don't die. They don't die until they get injected with their own blood, which is the last point, which is that what is more toxic for this group of racialized others than their own blood? What about black on black crime?
Yeah.
And that is ultimately the vision of this film. And I swear it is just this guy showing how not racist he is by making fun of little people.
By bringing
absolutely true
black blade back to life.
Yeah, well, good film review.
Thank you.
I agree with all of it as somebody who watched this. in awe and horror.
Yeah.
So that's I guess where we'll end the podcast tonight.
I will give
horror.
one quick reviewy thing, like more reviewy. It is available on YouTube.
Yes.
I wouldn't necessarily suggest you watch it.
Nope.
Like it wasn't even like funny bad. But what happened to me as this movie was playing, and I actually have another one of these that I wanted to see. There's the cross.
Yep.
And it's really ambiguous. It's so bizarre. But I have the attention span of someone who, I guess I get diagnosed with ADD when I was a kid, so I probably still have it, right? But as a person with ADD who has lived through 2 years of quarantine, right? So, which means I can read a page and then my brain breaks, and if I'm going to watch a movie, I need to like play a game while I do it and shit like that. But I put this movie on, and after the first scene was over, I wasn't fascinated or anything, but I was just glued to it. I was stuck. I couldn't stop. And it wasn't a train wreck thing either. It had the most bizarre effect on me. And I hated it. And apparently, if I'm understanding correctly, I heard that this movie is supposed to be 2.5 hours long, but this is only an hour and a half.
Oh,
so there might be a longer cut of it somewhere. And if you can find it, send it to me so I can play it on loop while I choke myself.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, this has been the Benzo Rehab Dungeon. The first episode of the new year.
Only 2.5 hours long.
Yeah.
Talking about vampires.
Longer than it should have been. What am I going to say? So if you would like to support this broadcast, the Benzo Rehab Dungeon will always be a free broadcast, but if you would like to support it, go to patreon.com/Benzo Rehab Dungeon. I am working on genuinely now some long form essays about finance, capitalism, and other things related to that. Dorian, do you have anything you would like to pitch besides the workshop, which we can go into?
No, we'll go into the workshop stuff, but
we're going into the workshop, whatever.
I think for now, otherwise not a whole lot. But yeah.
Patreon.com/Junkata.
Yeah. So all right, the workshop thing. I thought you were telling me not to cover the workshop.
No, it's just shit.
And so I was saying like I don't necessarily have anyway. Patreon.com/Truncata, TRUNCATA. I am ashamed, genuinely, actually, a little bit that I've fallen so far behind when it comes to the lectures, despite even adjusting my numbers. So I am working on one that I hope to have released after the weekend. And so there's that. Otherwise, we are back this week on Saturday from 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. PST. It is an open workshop. The next two will be. We're actually delaying talking about delays until next week. And so that gives some people time to prepare and read and know what we're doing. So we're going to be reading excerpts from Kafka Towards the Minor Literature for next week. But this week is just going to be kind of a hangout. We're going to have people bring in art that they like. We're going to just kind of talk about it. We're going to talk about projects that we're working on or want to work on. And it'll be a pretty casual one. So if you're interested in learning about philosophy or literature, art, or sharing any of your philosophy, literature, or art, it's a good space for you. And again, as always, if you go to the Patreon and want to give money to it so that we can either donate it or save it for some kind of publication in the future, that's great. If you don't want to give us money, just send me or Michael a message and we'll send you the link to it and we'll set you up. Yep.
John, do you have an OnlyFans to advertise yet?
An only feet.
No.
Only hands. Sorry.
Yeah, I was going to start an only hands until somebody ruined the whole motif.
And then I ruined it, of course.
Yeah.
Blame it on the brownest person here, which I can claim because you're the blackest person here.
He's also the reddest person here, which is
yeah.
funny.
Fucking
I'm not going to make that racist joke.
Fucking gotcha.
I I posit that I can be redder.
Ow.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty red.
We'll have to compare.
Actually, I could probably get
redness.
reddest out of anyone here. See my sunburns.
Stay in the sun for a while.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
45 minutes.
Dear viewer, dear listener, we love you very much. Thank you for joining us. As always, we love you. Please take your medicine.